Hey guys, Happy New Year. I'm going to be talking about some films in 2017 that I'm looking forward to the most. These are 10 films that either I'm just really excited about, or they're made by a director that I really like, or a writer, or an actor and actress that are going to be involved with it that I'm excited about, or they're franchises that I really enjoy. So these are films that are going to come out in 2017 that I am just really excited for. We're going to welcome in the new year with 10 films that I think are really going to be promising this year. So let's go from, as usual, I'm going to start with number 10, and the more we work up on the list, the more excited I am for that certain film. So the film that's number 10 on the list is obviously the weakest of these 10, but when we get to closer to number 1, those are the films that I'm really, really looking forward to. So let's get started here. So at number 10, I'm looking forward to Alien Covenant. This is going to be Ridley Scott's next film. It comes out during the summertime. It'll be interesting to see kind of where that Alien series goes from Prometheus because they're continuing it off of that movie. It looks a little familiar. It looks like they're going to kind of cover some things that we've already seen in previous Alien movies, but it is a Ridley Scott Alien film. They have the right people involved with it. Catherine Waterstone, who just was involved with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and I was happy with her performance in that movie, is going to have a role in this movie, and I think Danny McBride and some other people are going to be involved with this movie too. So it'll be interesting to see where the Alien franchise goes with Alien Covenant. At number 9, we have The Dark Tower. This is kind of the next big Stephen King film adaptation, and this film has been, rumored for the longest time. At one point Ron Howard was going to direct this movie. It was handed around to other different directors throughout the course of time, and it's finally getting made. Unfortunately, it's by a director that I don't know a lot about. But I'm intrigued by The Dark Tower. I think it'll be an interesting movie. I think the concept for it is very unique, with this guy in this like a post-apocalyptic Old West trying to find this tower that might have some answers to some things about the world he lives in and so forth. So I'm intrigued by, it's one of Stephen King's bigger books that he's worked on over the course of his career. So it'll be interesting to see how the film adaptation of that movie turns out by the summer of 2017. At number 8, we have War for the Planet of the Apes. This is the continuation, The Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which I really enjoyed. Woody Harrelson looks like he has a pretty big role in this movie. He wasn't in the previous movies, but interesting to see how he kind of plays into this franchise now. It just looks really interesting. It definitely is a continuation of the things that I loved so much about Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So I'm hoping that this continuation is the continuation that we've always wanted for Planet of the Apes. At number 7, we have Matthew Vaughn's Kingsman: The Golden Circle. This is a sequel to Kingsman: The Secret Service, which I think came out 1 or 2 years ago. I love Matthew Vaughn. I love that Kingsman: The Secret Service, the first movie. Can't wait to see how they continue that story. I just love that movie. It's funny. It's action-packed. I cared about the characters. Samuel L. Jackson gave a great performance as a villain in the first movie. I think Julianne Moore plays a villain in this movie, this new one. And I think Elton John has a role in this movie from what I heard, and I think Jeff Bridges and Halle Berry do as well. So it'd be interesting to see how all these newcomers do in this movie and kind of how that story continues. So can't wait for Kingsman: The Golden Circle. At number 6, we have Wonder Woman. Patty Jenkins from Monster, which was a film that starred Charlize Theron and won her an Oscar. She's directing this new DC film. I'm excited to see it. It looks more bright and colorful, the way that I was hoping Batman vs. Superman was going to look. I like how they're going with a director that we really don't see take on a superhero project like this one. For the most part, I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I'm not completely in love with her interpretation quite yet, but hopefully Wonder Woman will convince me to be intrigued by her interpretation of the character. I love what she did in the Fast and Furious movies. So Wonder Woman, I'm really excited to see it. It comes out in summer of 2017, so hopefully it's great. At number 5, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This is James Gunn's continuation to his first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I think it's a part of this new Phase 3 line of Marvel movies. It looks funny. It looks fun. We get to see kind of Baby Groot, kind of how he continues off of that first movie, since we don't know a lot about Baby Groot yet. Everybody, from the first films on board, it looks like. We got Yondu, played by Michael Rooker, continuing in the movie. Dave Bautista plays Drax again, and from what I've seen in the trailers, he gets a lot of funny stuff to do in this movie from the looks of it, so hopefully it lives up to the hype. Let's hope that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is a very fun time at the theater. At number 4, we have Denis Villeneuve's continuation of Blade Runner. It's called Blade Runner 2049. Ryan Gosling, who just got out of La La Land, which I absolutely loved. He was also very good in The Nice Guys in 2016. Can't wait to see kind of what his Blade Runner character is like in this new movie. Can't wait to see what happens to Harrison Ford's character, kind of what he was up to over all this time since the first film. And it's Denis Villeneuve, who just got off of Arrival, and, he has Sicario and Prisoners on his record. It'll be interesting to see kind of how he continues that Blade Runner story. Wasn't completely in love with the first Blade Runner, but I think a sequel with the right direction could be really interesting. So let's hope Blade Runner 2049 is a fun time at the theater. The next film on my list is Kong Skull Island. I'm really looking forward to this movie. Like the Godzilla reboot in 2014, they hired a smaller director to work on the movie. I think the same producers from Godzilla are working on it. John C. Reilly, Samuel L. Jackson, Brie Larson, a bunch of famous people are going to be in this film. It looks like an interesting interpretation of Skull Island before King Kong became the King Kong we all knew and love and so forth. And King Kong is still going to be in the movie, obviously, too. Can't wait to see how Kong Skull Island plays out. At number 2, we have Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan. I always can't wait to see what he does next. I think a World War II film is an appropriate choice for Christopher Nolan. He seems to have an interesting take on World War II and what happened before the U.S. was involved with the war. Tom Hardy and Mark Rylance and a bunch of other people I absolutely love are going to be involved with this movie. I can't wait to see what Nolan does next. So Dunkirk makes it in at number 2. Comes out in the summer of 2017. And at number 1, I'm sure this is everybody's number 1 most anticipated film of 2017, is Star Wars Episode 8, directed by Rian Johnson. Wasn't a huge fan of Looper, but I thought certain parts of it were pretty good for the most part, so I'm hoping the things I liked about Looper are going to work their way into Star Wars Episode 8, because that's kind of the film that got Rian Johnson attached to this movie as a director. J.J. Abrams, I think, is kind of involved as a producer and co-writer, so we still have his special touch involved with the Star Wars franchise. Can't wait to see how Rey and Finn and Luke Skywalker and all of them get their story continued. Can't wait to see what they do next with Star Wars in this new movie. So those are my 10 films of 2017 I'm looking forward to the most. You guys, let me know down below some films that I missed here, or some films that you're looking forward to. Did you agree with any of these films on this list? Did you disagree with any of these films on this list? Are there some films that you think are going to be way better than what I mentioned here? Some directors or actors or actresses that you're looking forward to seeing in 2017 with their films and so forth. So let me know down below. Hope you guys have a great Happy New Year, and let's hope these 10 films I mentioned here are going to be great films within 2017.